Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So I am once again on a back road here. The road is getting progressively worse and worse, but it should be okay. I don't have too much further to go. I'm up on like a little ridge right now, and the view is just like spectacular. I'm in North Georgia, and I'm once again taking a little detour this morning to try and catch some wild brown trout for you guys. And I've never been to this creek in my life, but I've heard from some pretty credible sources that there are wild brown trout in here. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up and go find some fish. Alright, so I just made it to the creek. Let's take a look at it together real quick, guys. And it is, oh my goodness, a typical, just unbelievably beautiful North Georgia stream. Water's like crystal clear. Hold on, look at this, look at this. Look at that water. Sun glistening off through the trees. So I'm gonna fish this creek with like a little jig streamer for probably 3 hours, and hopefully I can nail a few little wild browns. Whoa, I just had like a very serious moment of deja vu. I feel like I've been here before, but I definitely have not. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna get my waders on because it's like 32 degrees. It's pretty chilly out this morning. And hopefully catch some wild browns for you guys. Let's do it. Man, this creek is beautiful. It's got some amazing holes. I haven't seen anything yet, but doesn't necessarily mean anything. Damn, there's a fish. Okay, they do exist, guys. Everybody, they exist. I spooked a singular trout. Finally. Got him. Got him. No! No fudge! Gah! It's a big fish too. Did you guys see that? There's no way that did not get hooked. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. It felt like a good hook set and everything, man. It's like a 12-inch brown trout. Micro streamer fishing for the win though. Seriously, that was sick, man. I got plenty of time left. I still got another 2 hours plus of fishing. So you're not gonna hear me complaining about a follow from a fish that big in this little creek like this. From what I was told, and I just got stuck, but from what I was told, fish in here aren't very big and they're all browns. Yeah, hopefully I can catch a few of them for you guys. No! I'm gonna, real quick guys, I'm gonna try to nymph this hole just because it's the first time I've actually seen fish consistently. And I refuse to get chunks today. So I'm gonna switch away from the streamer just briefly and see if I can't catch a fish on a nymph. All right, so I've been fishing for like, I don't know, an hour, a little over an hour. And you guys saw me loose that one real nice brown right off rip. I don't know how big it was, like approximately 12 inches or so. And I've moved one other fish since then, one very big, and I've moved through some really good holes. And I'm starting to get a little discouraged. And I came up to this hole, and I've seen 2 fish in this one hole. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to a nymph and kind of tight line a nymph through here. Because I think if I tight line a nymph through here, I have a pretty decent shot at catching one. So that's my plan at least. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I think it's better than just sitting here and not catching anything, that's for sure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lengthen this leader with some fluorocarbon. This leader's probably 4X, but it's kind of short, so it's a little thicker than it really should be. Another thing I kind of forgot to mention was that the leader I'm using right now, or the leader itself is monofilament, and what I'm tying on is fluorocarbon, so I'll be able to kind of float that thicker line. And I think my plan is, at least, is to kind of use it as a sider almost, because I wasn't really prepared for this, so it's not like I have a sider or something on me to use, so I think that should work. All right, so here's my little setup, double nymph setup. The bottom nymph is kind of a slightly larger hare's ear with some sparkle on it, just because I want the fish to see this as soon as it hits the water, because I think they're pretty active and probably don't get fished for much. And then I've got a caddis larvae if they're trying to be a little bit more particular. So I think I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to catch one of these fish. If I don't, I'll probably cry, but let's see what we can do. Got him, got him, got him. Let's go! Finally a little fish, dude. Look how pretty this little guy is. Holy guacamole, guys. I caught a little fella. Took change into a nymph to do it, but I'll take what I can get at this point. Try to get a little underwater release of this fella. Just hooked another one. Got him. I stopped recording because there's a little creek crossing here, and a few vehicles just drove across the creek crossing. So I was like, oh, the fish probably won't eat. So I wasn't recording, and then of course, immediately fish ate. Boy, these fish are really pretty, I'll tell you that much. Did he pop? He did pop. Really pretty fish, man. They're just incredible looking little fishies. Wow, these things are pretty. Look at him. Does he get much prettier now? Look at his adipose there. Go ahead and let him go. Thanks, friend. Tell Big Mama that I want to have a chat with her. Alright guys, so welcome back. I was kind of editing through the footage from Georgia and I realized that it really wasn't quite long enough. So I'm out here today after work. It's like 50, 55 degrees and it's raining, and I figured the temperature is probably popping up, so I decided I'd go and chuck the micro streamer, which is kind of what I threw at the beginning of the video, and see if I can't catch some fish in this tiny little stream here. It's very, very similar to the stream that I was fishing in Georgia. At least it's as similar as you can get, you know, in this general area. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up and get fishing because I only have like an hour to fish. So it's kind of foggy, it's misty, it's beautiful. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up and get fishing.
Let's go, dude. That's a big freaking brook trout. Will you chill out? Hello, thank you. Oh my gosh. You know what the funny thing is? I think that's a wild brook trout. I don't think that's a native brook trout. It's got no blue halos, but it doesn't look stocked either, which is an interesting thing to have happen. I mean, his fins are nearly perfect, or they are perfect, but he's not the correct, he's not like the Appalachian strain brook trout. All right guys, so here's this brook trout. You can see like a native brook trout should have like blue halos and stuff, and this fish doesn't, which basically just means it's like the very northern, like the main strain of brook trout. These are like the type of trout that they stock, but as you can see, he's pretty freaking clean. So he's either a holdover, which he could be a holdover, but if he is, he's a little tiny holdover. Either way, he's been in this creek for a solid minute or two, and he fell victim to the little woolly bugger. It's actually tied by Dylan, my buddy Dylan, who's lives down in Georgia. So yeah, we'll go ahead and unhook this guy and let him go. Oh no! Frick! The brook trout again, man. It's so hard to hook these fish on this stupid little thing. Unfortunately. There was another little one, probably a native. As I'm just walking up this creek, guys, I just want to kind of like show you the difference in creeks from like a very southern Appalachian, like Georgia stream, to kind of a lot further north. Still technically in Appalachia, but I'm up in West Virginia now. And the differences in just the water clarity, the geology, and that's kind of why I like Georgia so much. And even that goes the same with like South Carolina, North Carolina, all those places, is because you end up fishing water that looks so different than what I'm used to fishing. Yeah, I love it. I love fishing different water. Part of the reason I like exploring so much and doing this series is because of all the different water I get to see and the people I get to meet along the way. So hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do. Yes! Woo, baby, let's go. And this one's a native. And he's through the hole in the net. Here we go, there's a little native. Look how orange his belly is. But you can clearly see the difference. See the red and blue halos on this fish and the orange belly, and just how much overall prettier the fish is compared to like that other strain of brook trout. We'll go ahead and, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. Cut out of this hole. Now that fish, I felt like I had a few hits in there, but I couldn't hook anything. And I finally got him. Basically bouncing off the bottom with this thing. That's about the size of those other like brookies that I've been seeing. So I assume that all those fish were natives. And then obviously there's the one fish that was not a native.
All right guys, so I'm gonna walk the heck out of here. I didn't do too bad. I caught one native Appalachian strain brook trout, and then I caught one imposter brookie that was either a holdover or a wild fish. I don't know which one. But yeah, as you guys can see, although it's, you know, 50 some degrees outside right now, there's still a lot of snow on the ground. And basically what that means is there's a lot of snow melt washing into the creek, which not only lowers the pH, which the fish don't really like, but it also lowers the water temperature, which the fish also don't like. So even catching fish this time of the year and like these little freestone streams is pretty freaking good. And I caught these fish on a little woolly bugger that Dylan gave me when I was in Georgia this past weekend. And it's actually the same woolly bugger that I used and lost that like 12-inch brown at the beginning of this video. So yeah, shouts out to Dylan for this little tie. It's real heavy, gets down to the bottom. And this time of the year, I would argue that like little woolly buggers are like the easiest way to catch fish consistently. Because if you're throwing nymphs and stuff like that, you know, it's just kind of a crap show. And then you get tangled and you get stuck and you don't really catch that much. Whereas like a woolly bugger, you kind of just bounce it around and you're always catching a fish, or moving a fish at least. I think I moved 4 and caught 2, so you ain't gonna hear me complaining. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm working on the Georgia series, I swear. The weather's been so bad that I couldn't make it down there until this past weekend. But I finished up one of the videos. I've got 4 more to shoot, so stay tuned for that. And check out my other videos. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Hardman Fishing Adventures.